Good evening, Dhamma friends. You are warmly welcome for today's Sutta Studies. It is May 9th evening for us. And those friends who join from Sri Lanka and elsewhere, they have a different time zone. Perhaps it's in the morning. It's fine. We all are connected with compassion and kindness. I believe this session of Sutta discoveries help us cultivate the noble virtues of the Supreme Buddha's teaching. And let us begin the Sutta studies with such intention by paying homage to the Supreme Buddha. Let us recite Namo Tassa 3 times in Pali and also the meaning of it in English. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. I pay my homage to the sublime one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the sublime one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. Homage to the sublime one, the worthy one, the fully enlightened one. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear friends in Dhamma, it is always beneficial for us to show our gratitude to the Supreme Buddha for his teaching. His teaching teaches us so many things in our life, so that the venerations to the noble teaching of the Buddha is also brings us encouragement and all the other important things for us to continue our practice. And when we think about the Sangha as examples of the Dharma, we of course develop so much inspiration in our mind, so that it is always beneficial for us to remember that we follow the noble triple gem in our daily life. Sutta Studies is for exploring the true words of the Buddha about different aspects of life, different aspects of the path to enlightenment, and of course, it is the very distinct way to reach to Nirvana one day. So that your participation this Saturday is appreciated, because you had to do so many other things in your in your life today at this moment, but you thought this is the best thing I should do, and that is because of the inspiration for exploring the truth of the noble teaching of the Buddha. The today's sutta is also helpful for us to strengthen our path to enlightenment. This discourse is found in Majjhima Nikaya, the middle end discourses of the Buddha. Sutta number is 52. It means this sutta is included in the second book of the Majjhima Nikaya. As you can see, this sutta is an important one, because this sutta is delivered not by the Buddha, but Venerable Ananda, and we see something interesting in this discourse. We do not see any indication where the Buddha was when Venerable Ananda delivered this discourse to the particular person from Attakanagar. Every discourses you see that even the Buddha was not delivered a particular Dhamma sermon. The monks, particularly Venerable Ananda, said, okay, the Buddha was there when this particular monk delivered the discourse. But you do not find it here, because the Buddha passed away into Parinirvana before this discourse. In other words, The Buddha passed away when he was 80 years old in the month of May on the full moon day. And after several months, Venerable Ananda was someplace in today's Patna. So the person called the person from Attakanagara, as mentioned in the discourse, came to visit Venerable Ananda. There you don't see any indication where the Buddha was, because the sutta was delivered by Venerable Ananda as an Arahant right after the Buddha's parinirvana. So that is an important fact of this discourse. And we see that Venerable Ananda, upon the question asked by the man in the discourse, explained 11 ways of Nibbana. In other words, we see the 11 paths to Nirvana. It could also call avenues, doors. So this person came to Venerable Ananda just to ask a few usual questions, because it seems to us that he knew Venerable Ananda. He had met Venerable Ananda before this meeting, and at the same time, he asked, kind of very important question. According to the Buddha, tell me which way is for us, which way is the way to attain nirvana? What is the way to attain nirvana? Venerable Ananda said one, and when he explained the first one, he himself is invited to tell the others one after the other. Venerable Ananda explained 11 ways to attain nirvana, the enlightenment. So Venerable Ananda explained all these 11 ways in a beautiful way. And at the end, the person from Attakanagara said that I came with seeking one thing, one benefit, and I got 10 more important things in my life. It is compared to a kind of person who was looking for, one help or one thing, and he got more than he thought. It's a kind of credit. So that is what we see from the discourse, and it is very beneficial for us to go dive into each aspect of 11 and see how we start the training to enlightenment and how we continue it, and which way we turn our practice into breaking through the unwholesome state of mind. Because a lot of people ask question how we are going to attain nirvana, what things we should do in our mind if you want to attain nirvana. Because people know what nirvana is, people know what is the path would be for it, but there is a kind of struggle always in our mind how to proceed with. So Venerable Ananda clearly explained what things we need to do mentally and physically if we want to attain nirvana. And first couple of things he explained, and after that what we want to do in order to get through. So let's go to discourse and read through, because each information is important of the discourse. While I get the discourse, I just want to ask some concern about this topic. Before this, have you personally thought about what nirvana is, what enlightenment the Buddhism talks about? And have you thought about which path I should follow if I want to attain nirvana? Have you thought about this before? And have you thought about whether I can do it in this life? Because so many information circulated among us about various things. Therefore, people seems confused sometimes about what they need to do. This is why I asked this question. So anyway, nirvana is, first of all, we should know what nirvana is, what enlightenment is according to Buddhism. Simply, it's called our mind is in ignorance. We are born to this world because of greed, hatred, and ignorance in our mind. Otherwise, there won't be any birth. If greed, hatred, and ignorance are fully abandoned, there is no chance for any beings to be born. So we know the fact that we had those root causes of suffering in our mind at the last moment of previous life, and then we began our new journey in this life as a tiny dot. So after that, since greed, hatred, and ignorance are in our mind as basic step of governing our mind, a lot of supportive conditions have been developed in our mind, such as ignorance, hatred, greed in mind, so, hopes, expectations, so that we are in ignorance. With ignorance, with not knowing what exactly this and that, we have no chance of liberating ourselves. So the liberation or nirvana or enlightenment means total destruction of ignorance along with the seed of greed and hatred. In other words, the Buddha's words here from Anguttara Nikaya tells us that Nibbana is nothing but the total destruction of greed, hatred, and ignorance as root causes of suffering. So this is called nirvana. How one achieve this nirvana? The part to achieve nirvana is to develop wholesome positive qualities to let go of ignorance and other unwholesome state. If ignorance disturb our way to nirvana, we have to let go of ignorance by applying right thinking. When there is right thinking, there is no ignorance. When there is a light, there is no darkness, something like that. Suppose you go to a room that in the night and you don't see anything in the room because it's full dark. So you switch on the light, there you see everything. Switching on light and seeing everything in the room is like having samadhi and seeing things as they are. So we let samadhi to arise in our mind and let other qualities follow in the same path, so that slowly, gradually, mind is going to be in light. That is called enlightenment. So that is what enlightenment means. And also the path for it start from samadhi. There we have perfect physical, verbal, and mental behavior to support the samadhi to take us to empty mind from greed, hatred, and ignorance. So this is what we need to do clearly in taking some big step into towards nirvana. So let's go to the Attakanagara Sutta, where Venerable Anand explained 11 avenues to nirvana. Since this title Attakanagara is there, uh, nobody can, nobody can see what it is. Attakanagara is a name for a township or a city or a village, and the man who questions, Venerable Ananda is from there. He actually came to where Venerable Ananda because of a business trip, but interestingly, he had a habit to see monks wherever he went, and this time he knew that Venerable Ananda must be here. At one time, the Venerable Ananda was staying in the village of Belua near Vaishali. At that time, the household lord Dasama, his name is Dasama of Attakanagara, had arrived in Pataliputta on some business. Then the household Dasama of Attakanagara went to Kukkuta's park and approached a certain monk. Having approached him, he saluted him and sat down at one side. Sitting thus at one side, the house lord Dasam of Attakanagara said this to the monk: where is Venerable Ananda now residing? I wish to see Venerable Ananda. The Venerable Ananda, householder, house lord is residing outside the village of Belur. The other monk said that, okay, Venerable Ananda must be in the village called Belur. It is not far from the Pataliputra. If you go to India today, Pataliputra, those days, is named today as Patna. It's a big city. And when you cross the river from Pataliputra or Patna to the other side, you may see those villages, township, including Vaishali. You know, when you go there, you feel that 6th century BC is social structure still there, right? I had that feeling. So Dasama from Attakanagara knows where Belua village is. So we see from the discourse that he went to see Venerable Anand at Belur. Now we know that there are usual, typical greeting styles and preparation when you go somewhere and greeted after. So we see this from the discourse that Dasama went to Venerable Ananda, greeted him, and after after inquiring about the health of Venerable Ananda and the other things, he asked the question like this: Bante Ananda, could you please tell me one thing that the Buddha talk about with regard to the path to Nirvana? If one is able to follow that path, can he attain Nirvana? Because there are, could you please tell me such a path? Simply, Dasam asked, I want to attain enlightenment. No, I just want to know. I'm so curious about enlightenment. So could you please tell me that the Buddha has told us just one path, if you follow this one path, and you could attain enlightenment. So this is what Dasama asked from Venerable Ananda. We see from the discourse that Venerable Ananda begins the answer, yes, there is one thing, one teaching that has been pointed out by the Blessed One who knows and says, worthy, full awakened one. Yes, the Supreme Buddha said one thing that everybody can follow and attain enlightenment. What is that one thing? So then Venerable Ananda explained, yes, this one thing should be like this, by which here householder Dasama, this is the one first thing the Buddha explained. Suppose you go to a meditation or do similar activity that brings joy and happiness. There you quite secluded from sense desires, secluded from unwholesome mental states, enters and dwells in the first jhana. Basically, jhana is attained through concentration meditation. When I say the word concentration meditation, I mean Samatha Bhavana as well as Vipassana Bhavana, because both vehicles of meditation gives us Samadhi first. I will tell my friend about the differences of Samatha and Vipassana, because you have heard about these two terms but may not be able to fully understand the meaning of it. Samatha is the technique to achieve concentration or samadhi. Vidarshana is the technique to attain wisdom. The maximum benefits you could get from samatha meditation is samadhi. Samadhi is the concentrated mind. The mind, when you achieve samadhi, your mind is away from 5 hindrances. The mind is still. Mind doesn't want any material things to rely. Mind is happy. So therefore your body is relaxed as well. No doubts, no frustration. So these are the things you experience when you attain to first jhana. But when you are not in first jhana, you are like average person. struggle a lot and be unhappy, be happy again, something like that. So, attaining first jhana is therefore included in the Noble Eightfold Path. It belongs to Samma Samadhi category, and it belongs to other important elements of the Dhamma, so that attaining jhana is required for many people. Here, I just want to emphasize the importance of samadhi again, because when you are in samadhi, at least in the first jhana, there is no worry at all in your mind, right? One of the examples Buddha gave us to understand the happiness of attaining samadhi is important. It is like this. Suppose you go to a desert area, or you are walking in the middle of the day with hot sun, under hot sun, and you are so tired. So you came home, or you go to a place where you stay, and you had a very nice bath. You are now hungry after walking for several hours in the hot weather. So you got a shower. Now your body is refreshed, your mind is happy too. Now you are hungry. You eat whatever you like most, and you drink enough water, and then you're fully settled with hunger and everything. Now you are asked to go to a bed where you find more comforts. Now you lie down on the bed and about to feel sleepiness. This is the thing I'm going to ask. What kind of feeling you will have? Are you happy about everything you experience now? Imagine that you are the person who is in the lying down position on that bed. You will feel really relaxed, so joyful, and you will fall into sleepiness within a few seconds, because your body is relaxed, your mind is not with the burden usually it has. So this is an kind of examples given in the literature, Buddhist literature, to show us how gorgeous, powerfully happy the mind is when one attains to jhana. So it is Buddha was trying to explain the first jhanic happiness with examples, but we do not know whether some people get it. Anyway, when you are in the first jhana, you are in a super experience. So Venerable Ananda said that yes, the first way to attain nirvana is the first jhana. And there you see, this is how the Venerable Ananda explained. This has said in many discourses, but we focus here with whatever Venerable Ananda says with the same thing. A monk, Venerable Ananda takes a monk, for example. Suppose there is a monk. Now he is quite secluded from sense desires, secluded from unwholesome mental state, and enters and dwells in the first jhana. So in order to develop first jhana, first you have to understand what you have to overcome. The things you should overcome is 5 hindrances: desire for sensual pleasures, desire, ill will, and drowsiness and sleepiness, which means you are not forward to do any good thing, and then restlessness and worry, and then finally doubts, skeptical doubts. If you have these 5, you are not going to make samadhi. But overcoming these 5 means you are entering into first jhana, as we read through, quite secluded from. You do not have sensual pleasure there. You do not have other unskillful states such as we explained. Therefore, you enter into first jhana, which has some qualities like rapture, happiness, and one-pointedness, along with applied and sustained thoughts. This is called first jhana. So the Dasama from Attakanagar asked the question, is there one path that we can practice and attain enlightenment according to the Buddha? Venerable Ananda said yes, and now he explained how one can attain enlightenment being on the first jhana. This is what Venerable Ananda explained. He considers, suppose now you are in the first jhana, so you have that happiness, relaxation, very clear mind. Your mind is directed to one pointedness. Since there are applied and sustained thought, you have thinking, you are talking, but very focused, where only related matters you are talking if you are talking with the first jhana. Because Vitaka Vichara, applied and sustained, are there, but remember, this is not just conversation. This is about your mind talking to your experience. For example, you feel so easy in your mind. You don't feel your body is stressful. You don't feel your mind is disturbed by anything. You feel gorgeous in your body. So now your mind is inquiring, what is this? What is this? Oh, this is really good. Oh, this mind doesn't have this. And something like that could be vitaka vichara, but it's not like somebody is talking to us. No. Vitaka vichara could be done even without word splitting out from your mouth, because mind can talk. So the interesting thing is that now this person considers jhana as constructed, internally formed, and impermanent, subject to ending. So this person who is in first jhana, considers the very word Venerable Ananda uses, even this first jhana is mentally constructed, internally formed. What is constructed and internally formed is impermanent, subject to ending. Right? That is what he considers there. Because when you are in the first jhana, you know that your mind doesn't work like you are out of jhana. You behave a certain way. Your mind is working in a certain way. So there you see that this particular jhanic experiences you experience now is impermanent, subject to suffering, because it is constructed. How this first jhana is constructed? By right thinking. You took a meditation subject according to your wish, and you follow it well as instruction are given. Now you also experience now relaxation, and that is how it is being constructed with causes and conditions. Now I have this experience, but when I am getting away, when I get out of this meditation, thus mean you engage with something else, the jhanic pleasure might be going away because conditions are not meeting again. The conditions for jhana is not produced there. That's why jhanic experience as a full form does not come along. So in order for us to get into the nibbanic experience, there you do vidarshana, which means you practice vidarshana inside meditation. Let's see here what Venerable Ananda said here. If he is steady therein, he attains the destruction of the mental influxes. If he does not attain the destruction of the mental influxes because of that desire in Dhammas, that delight in Dhammas, then the destruction of 5 lower fetters, he becomes one with spontaneous birth. There attain final nirvana, not subject to returning from the world. Dasama, this is one thing the Buddha, this is one thing that has been pointed by the Buddha who knows everything. Right? This is why if a monk were to dwell diligent, ardent, resolute, he would liberate his unliberated mind, attain into supreme security from bondage that had not yet been attained. So now remember this information all the time. Whenever you get them back. How many avenues the Venerable Anand explained for enlightenment when he was asked for one avenue? He explained 11 ways. The first one is attaining first jhana. There, that particular jhanic experience is nothing but the 5 aggregates of clinging, because attaining jhana doesn't mean that you attack the wholesome side seriously and remove them. Attaining jhana means you suppress 5 hindrances. That's all you can do. And then you make your mind ready with patience, with wisdom, with courage to identify unwholesome state of mind and destroy them. So attaining jhana is the perfect mindset for deep dying into reality, right? I really like this because jhana is coming from the verb jayati. The verb, Pali verb jayati, means you burn down the unwholesome state. With the word jayati, whatever you do, it should be burning down or removing your unwholesome states. So jayati is like that. So the Buddha asked monks and nuns always to go into empty hut, empty places, forest monasteries, and meditate for the purpose of destroying unwholesome state but attaining jhana. Because everybody knows that if people are to get this message and practice jhana, they become so strong on their training, because jhana is considered the momentary nibbana. So here we see Venerable Ananda said, okay, if you attain to first jhana with any subject of meditation, you will be given some informations to continue your studies and studies and continues, and you spend more hours there, so that so you are qualified. So when you attain to first jhana, not only once but many times, you better think that this jhana, though it is so gorgeous, relax, this is not going to work every day for me, because jhana is gained through right practice. It is conditional. So this is what you think. You think that this very jhana is nothing but the phases of impermanence. I would say this is in addition to this course, but it is related to Dhamma. What exactly you do when you turn your mind towards Vipassana? What exactly you do? You consider the very jhanic mind as form, feeling, perception, mental formation, and consciousness. Suppose this is how you understand this, in my opinion. You look at your mind, because jhana appears in your mind. You look at that directly and say to the particular jhana, okay, I know you are very important for me. You protect me for few things. Of course, I keep that in mind, but at the same time, you are impermanent. You cannot live with me for long time. I created you. So that kind of things are there always. So that the very jhana is nothing but anything you experience physically and mentally, and the body is reacting to it. And there you see this jhana is impermanence, but very important. But it is very important. So in the first jhana, you consider all the factors of jhana, understand them as impermanent and subject to suffering, and there you have that momentum to get wisdom into application. So, friends, that is what Venerable Ananda said to Dasama. If I repeat it again in a short version, you attain to first jhana by overcoming 5 hindrances. There you have rapture, happiness, and then ekaggata, the one-pointedness, along with applied and sustained thoughts. Right? You have them. When you attain to this first jhana over and over, kind of maturity comes to get the first jhana with a short period of time. Then you turn your mind towards vidarshana, seeing the reality of life. There you see with calm mind that the hair of the head and the body and teeth, nails, and everything this body belongs, they are not belongs to you anymore because they are impermanent. They are subject to change. And then everything you own is going to change. That kind of vision is developed there accordingly. And later, you could either be an full arahant because you catch the very important things in this process for your consideration. So there you destroy all kinds of other unwholesomeness and attain, nirvana, the full enlightenment. If not, sometimes monks and lay people like their books very much, like the Dhamma, different practices of Dhamma very much. So likewise, some people attach to some Dhammas, subtle teachings, so that they do not win the enlightenment, but they end up with their journey with Anagami, the third level of enlightenment. So now we know that first jhana is one avenue, and you can easily assume that the second jhana would be the second one, yes, and the third jhana is the third, fourth is the fourth avenue. So for these 4 jhanas are recorded in the Samadhi section of the Noble Eightfold Path, particularly as the last one, Samma Samadhi. And therefore, it is required for enlightenment, because without perfect mind, you cannot find the subtle things in the teaching. Since today we follow the various methods, electronic, so that this help us a lot, that this is being done. And the second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, the level you experience in the first and second would be different from the third and fourth, because the mind is advancing itself when you attain to first jhana, from first jhana to second, and so forth. From your side, you see, you change your clothes and use different things. If you go on a trip for several days, every day there is new. But in other cases, it could be same thing. Likewise, when jhana is there, this is attained. When wisdom is there, it's easily taken. You are easily taken into a position. You experience very important elements of vipassana. So first jhana is the first avenue to nirvana, and second jhana is the second, third is the third, fourth is one. After that, you see loving kindness is also as an avenue to enlightenment. Then after loving kindness, metta, what do we have in the 4 Brahma Viharas? Karuna, compassion. The third one is altruistic joy or sympathetic joy. The joy or happiness that come to you when you see the success of others, when you see the letting go of things you belong, you will have this happiness enormously. So the last one of the 4 is equanimity. This is called 4 Brahma Vihara. So first 4 avenues appear in us when we attain to 4 jhanas. And the second 4 avenues would be with regard to 4 Brahma Viharas. There are only 4, young people in a family, and they are all representing everything, something like that. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka could be everything. So when you attain to first, first thing of it, loving kindness, Venerable Ananda says this. It's called mental freedom by loving kindness. Further, a monk with a heart full of loving kindness. It's not mere just loving thoughts. It's loving kindness in full of your heart. It's mean very developed, very important way of presenting loving kindness too. So full of heart full of loving kindness, suffering one, suffusing one. Now you have loving kindness 100%. Now you spread it to different direction in order to make sure that you cover everyone. And then you conclude, okay, not only myself, but everyone else, be in peace, be in happiness. That is the thought you keep in mind and expand. And then it goes different direction. And when you do that, what happened to your mind? I think many of you have meditated on loving kindness. What exactly you feel when you do meditation on loving kindness? So our mind goes to a state of peace and happiness because everything seems good, everything seems very nice. So you spread loving kindness, and then it shows from your face, it shows from your actions and thinking, and there is no chance of doing wrong thing because of loving kindness for entire world, entire universe. So as a result, your mind goes to a samadhi, because loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity, they are called appaman chetomita. You can expand your mind on these noble qualities for long time, right? So there is a moment that you could see your mind with loving kindness there, and then you do the same as you did before. You take you consider your very mind with loving kindness is impermanent, and it is subject to change, and then it is based on causes and conditions. Therefore, your vipassana mind is going to develop, because earlier you had a doubt about what exactly these things happen, happenings does for. Right now, with the right thinking, the one who attained to jhana thinks that this is also impermanent, right? That is how he is going to break greed, hatred, and ignorance at some point, and perhaps you could do that. So that is how loving kindness is working. I know that you easily understand this, but my duty is to tell you this in a way that everybody comes to a kind of understanding, because there are no deep analysis here with the five aggregates of clinging, karma, this and that, because related matter is explained enough. But from the point of view of Dharma analyzing, we can get all these five aggregates into this discussion and so forth, and make a discussion. But I doubt that many people understand with such a lengthy explanation. That is why I'm saying that when you are in either Pojanas or Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka in Brahmaviharas, you should be brave that I deliver. You should know that I know this. So that is what Buddhists mean, because you understand things and you feel it, right? So I want to quickly go into the other aspect. So we know that there are 4 jhanas, and then the 4 Brahmaviharas, 8 altogether. What else we have in the discourse as avenues to nirvana according to Venerable Ananda? There are the 3 formless jhanas. You attain to mental state called akasa ananchayatana. There you do the vidarshana on, and attain full enlightenment. If not, if that doesn't work, you better choose the previous one. But according to the sermon, the first formless jhana we attain for enlightenment is sphere of infinite space. The second one is sphere of consciousness, Vinyanan Chayatana. And the third one is nothingness. These are the other three avenues for you to attain full enlightenment with the right reflection. I just want to say these 11 things. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, metta, karuna, mudita, upekka, 8. And then, Akasananchayatana, the infinite space, knowledge about infinite space. Then, Vinyananchayatana, sphere of consciousness. And then nothingness, sphere of nothingness. They are all mental state. So, suppose you get one of these 11 and train yourself enough with this, you have a chance of doing right vipassana in a full form and attain enlightenment in a short period of time. So this is what Venerable Ananda says in details. And then Dasama from Attakanagar became so happy, and he said that particular statement about Dharma. When Dasama said that, I am so happy because I came to you just for one answer or one way to nirvana. You explain 10 more about it. So he left, and that is pretty much the discourse is. So we can have a meaningful discussion if you have any questions. If you do not understand these terms, this kind of teaching very much, just ask questions, try your best to clarify. And then this kind of suttas help us a lot because earlier, we have many of you have read this many years ago. Anyway, in terms of explaining it well, before you did not know exact way to attain enlightenment, but now you know practically how, where, and how you do that. Right? What kind of things you should gather as requisite if we attain to full enlightenment. So right now we have kind of silver line in the darkness. Okay, that we also can practice practice first jhana, second jhana, karuna, mudita, upekka, and get closer to nirvana. So that is a kind of important thing I see from this discourse, apart from many other. So it's very interesting. Thanks to Venerable Ananda for doing this wonderful service, because we do not see that the Buddha explained these 11 things together at one place for Ananda to explain them in the Sangha Council. But Venerable Ananda himself explained these just because I think Venerable Ananda, just because Venerable Ananda knows them as accordingly, where both Vinaya and Sutra and other Abhidharma, according to these three baskets, this is perfectly okay. So I told you that Venerable Ananda could be is highly spiritually monk at that time when Dasama went there, so that his expertise on Dharma help him to find the right teaching for Dasama. So open to question, open to explain few things. Yes.
How do we know when we reached nirvana?
Okay, your question is how do we know when we attain nirvana, right? It's a very good question. So before we know about nirvana, do we know that we are not in nirvana? Can we understand?
We know.
How do you know?
Because of the thoughts in our head.
Yeah, it's a very good answer. We know that our mind is not settled. We know that our mind, we are angry, we are upset, we suffer from various things. We have no full control of our mind when we do certain things, and sometimes we do not feel that we are ourselves. These are because of unwholesome state of mind, right? So there we have this understanding that we know that our mind is polluted by greed, hatred, and ignorance, and we know that we are not in nirvana. There you have the answer. If I do not have any signs of greed, hatred, ignorance, jealousy, anxiety, suffering, frustration, stress, that could be the nirvana, right?
Yes.
So nirvana, according to Anguttara Nikaya, the third section, ragakkayo, dosakkayo, mohakkayo nibbana, total absence of greed, hatred, and ignorance from mind is called nibbana, right? You don't see any physical changes when you attain nirvana. You don't see anything change outside of you, like in your kuti, because sometimes people think that when a person at a nirvana, there is a huge light circulated around your body, and then what else? Uh, you would be having all these things around you just because you have a thought about it. Because people think that you can do a lot of miracles as soon as you attain enlightenment. But it is enlightenment is a total transformation of your mind from bad to good. Your mind is so clean from unpure thoughts, and it is bright now. It's like the traditional example given to understand the Nibbanic mind, nature of the Nibbanic mind is the lotus leaf. Have you seen the lotus leaf in a font?
Yes.
You can put water into it, but water does not stick into it. Like, if you put water into a paper, so you know what happened.
Yes.
But when you put water into the lotus leaf, it slipped away, but you don't see any signs of water after. Likewise, when we attain nirvana, we don't see uh, any unwholesome state in that mind. We don't see any unclear point in your mind. Everything is gone. It's full clean, penetrated, beautiful. And even if you want to attach to something, it doesn't happen because mind is fully clean. That is called nirvana. Uh, so the person who attained to even before the stages of before the nirvana, because in the training, your mind is always know what exactly happened to you. Because samadhi, the right understanding, is the foremost wholesome state of everything. That means you know what exactly you do, you know what exactly happened to you, knowing you do this, and when you break down those layers of craving, you know it. You feel it. Okay, yeah, this is gone, only this is now there. Now this is the thing I need to do. Okay, something like that, you know, and you do things. Because sati, mindfulness, is developed so that everything is known to you. Okay, I see. I saw Dr. Pial was going to talk. At the same time, I saw Vimal Mahatmya is going to say something. Yeah, take your.
Can I talk, Bante?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I
Yes.
would like to have your assistance in understanding a couple of things. Incidentally, I have seen the same discourse in Anguttara Nikaya also.
Yeah.
What is coming in Majjhima Nikaya.
Yeah.
Right. The
There's a
point I
parallel
want to
there.
understand, yeah, parallel. Yeah. The upekka coming in the fourth jhana is similar to the upekka in the Satara Brahma Viharan, the same upekka.
Yeah, when the Buddha talks about upekka or equanimity, when we take as one aspect, it is same. But depending on where it is applied, it could be different because we see upekka bojjanga also, right? And we see upekka paramita, we see fourth jhana, and starting with third jhana and fourth jhana, we see upekka is going to start and become maturity. It is a state of imperturbability, which means your mind is not shaken by anything when you have upekka. That is called upekka. So it is a requirement for someone to go into the deeper aspect of training, like when you go to vipassana jnana, sankhara upekka jnana. So you see everything as sankhara. There your mind, with that understanding, there your mind is going to settle down. Your mind is so calm and peaceful because you see everything as sankhara. So if you take the baby step of upekka, there should be a baby step of upekka, because if you start the training very recently, your loving kindness, your compassion, your sympathetic joy, karuna, mudita, and upekka could be in a baby level. But there should be the highest level of upekka when we take the Pro-Brahma Vihara, and it could also be equal to the completion of upekka in Sattabojjanga and also other status of upekka. But remember, those who attain to four jhanas without any attainment, like Sotapanna, Sakadami, Aganamagi, their upekka is not that developed as upekka of arahants. Because those who attain to full enlightenment or any other stages, their upekka is highlighted as strong, other than the upekka of somebody who only attained the four jhanas, because we can see such differences. That's why it is listed in different places as well. But with the upekka, the very essence is that when it is there, the mind is calm and peaceful, and everything is taken as something, and your patience is high. Your reactive mode is such that you don't get disturbed by anything, something like that. So Venerable Sariputta was targeted by a village person behind him, and even Venerable Sariputta did not even turn and say, "Why did you hit me? Why did you disturb me?" Because their upekka is high and unimaginably, you are there, so you don't react to them. But those who are in the level of upekka in the fourth jhana is also very good, but not like the upekka of somebody who has gone to that level of enlightenment. That's how I understand. There may be other things to add, but for the moment, this is what I think. Upekka is upekka, but according to the application of upekka, according to the level of the development of the mind, upekka could be different from place to place, from person to person. Yes, Doctor. Yeah.
Question
The
I have.
upekka,
So you
sorry,
have another question followed by?
yes.
Okay.
So the upekka coming in the fourth jhana will be there only as long as you are in the jhana, is it?
Yeah, we know the what is upekka in the fourth jhana. Sukassaja pahana, dukkassaja pahana, pubbeva, domanassa, somanassa, attangama. That is how the fourth jhana is explained in particular way. That means you do not have, of course, you overcome both physical and mental happiness, both mental and physical suffering. You do not have any of these things. Therefore, your mindfulness is developed into the greatest status. Samadhi, that is the peak of the samadhi, and therefore, upekka sati parisuddhing chatutta jhanang upasampajjuherati. Upekka sati parisuddhing. So the concentration is equipped with mindfulness and also equanimity or the upekka. That is what we call fourth jhana. So that level of upekka, that level of sati, that level of concentration exists only when you are there. But when you come out, you have the sense. For example, suppose we take hot water into a glass, right? After 1 minute or 2 minutes, we throw all the hot water into the sink and take the glass like this. Still, the hotness is there. Maybe after 5 minutes, you still feel the hotness because hot sensation from the glass doesn't go immediately just because you throw the hot water to the sink. Likewise, as soon as you wake up, uh, you know, came out of the fourth jhana, you don't lose the essence of the fourth jhana because it exists there for a certain period of time. According to the many stories, you see some people attain jhana. They are not saying that this particular person attained to this jhana, that jhana, but in essence, they were in a state of samadhi, in a state of jhana. That peaceful mindset existed for days and days. Look at Anotha Pindigar. He even did not see the Buddha, but he heard about the name Buddha. He never ever felt sleepiness throughout the night because his mind is elated into a state of peace, joyful, and happiness. So he did not sleep at all because his mind did not get that sleepiness, and his happiness was so much so that it exists for a long time. And I can remember there are a few places that the same thing is explained. So when you are in the at least first jhana, suppose you get out of it and do usual thing, your mind uh, usually stays for longer period. Depending on causes and condition, it goes away from you. Otherwise, it could stay for a certain period of time. So even if you came out of jhana, the very essence of upekka could exist in you into a certain extent because you have a good memory. You attain to fourth jhana with the perfect practice of mindfulness, with the perfect practice of samadhi. So you keep them in mind. You know what exactly you need to do because you are in the suppose you attempt to attain the sotapanna. So you are in the noble path. Therefore, you become careful of defilement that could come from this and that, so that you protect what you gain, so that the kind of I would say 50 of upekka might be living with you all the time. It depends
Thank you,
on
Bhante.
the quality of panya, quality of sati, and quality of virya. Because as long as you keep them alive in your mind, you would be able to keep the upekka without dying from your mind. So
Thank
that
you,
is,
Bhante.
yeah.
Dr. Pial, please allow me a few more seconds. When you talk about these 11 pathways to Nibbana, I see a significant absence of Neva Sanya and Nasanya is not there.
Neva Sanya, Nasanyayatana, the fourth of the formless jhana,
Yes.
is a state where you don't know actually what exactly you have before and after. It is a state of not knowing what exactly you have accept the particular jhanic experiences you are in. In other words, it is said in commentaries that it is a state neva sanya na sanyatana. You do not know what exactly you. This is how it should be said. When you are in neva sanya na sanyatana, only thing you know is that you are there. That is how we explain it. But you see that when you are in the perfect jhana, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, akasananchayatana, vinyananchayatana, akinchanyayatana, you have a kind of ability to know what exactly you are in. But in nevasanya nasanyayatana, you are doubtful. You are these words may not be coming the right words, but you are not knowing what exactly you are having in. It's a very, the other thing, commentary says that it is a very subtle state of mind, so that the meditator in that state doesn't know his sanya, the perception, because and of course other things related to it, so that you cannot turn it into vipassana. In other stated, you can look at your status of mind and think, convert it to, okay, this is impermanent, this is this came to me because of this, and so on. Kind of application to right thinking could be done in other states, but not in neva sanya na sanya. And that's why Venerable Ananda did not include it. This is what commentary says.
Either existent, no, non-existent.
Non-existent.
But in several places I have seen Neva is defined as formless meditative absorption.
It
Is
is
it
so.
right?
It is so, but no one, those who attain to this particular jhana doesn't stop the training from there. If you go to the highest level, you have to go to neither perception nor non-perception. Sanya Vedete Nirodha. So this is why, Buddha included the formless jhana into his teaching as right after the attainment to four jhanas. Otherwise, he never recommended it, because it is not in the Noble Eightfold Path. But it is good if you have the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana experiences. Look at the suttas, how Cheto Vimutti explained. First, you have to go through the Samma Samadhi, 4 jhanas, and complete it. Then only you are able to, even before that you can go in, but it is not the Buddha's recommendation. So the recommendation is there, get it, akasananchayatana, and got the other things after the four jhanas. There you don't get wrong. Otherwise, just akasananchayatana and the other 3 formless jhana do not take you to the destruction of cravings, destruction of ignorance.
Thank you, sir. Sorry for taking so much of time. Thank you.
That's fine. Dr. Pial, you may have something to add. You are muted.
No, really, this is, I thought one sutra where it says you can attain Nibbana after the first jhana. So not many places they talk about this. Usually they go through the whole system, either after the fourth jhana, up to the Sanya Vedi Nirodha. And then from there, you are open, you have only 2 things left there. I think Animita and Apanihita when you come out of that. So again, that shows like signless or signless concentration comes up there, and then you attain Nibbana. So I wonder whether this is a place where a person who has done a lot of vipassana, pubbanga samatha, once he done so much vipassana to get into samatha, suddenly the vipassana things comes so easy when the first jhana, priti sukha, he gets into quickly to the inside part. where vipassana comes, whereas the others, samatha uppagga vipassana, they go right through all the jhanas and get the insight.
We do not have many examples or evidences, but I agree with you because you stay in jhana as a qualification for vipassana, I guess, because everybody has to do vipassana, right? Vipassana is the technique to break down the walls of craving, ignorance, and so forth. No matter which way you start, you have to do that. So vipassana yanika, those who take the vipassana technique, start the qualification for nibbana from the very beginning. When they analyze body and mind as aggregates and sensors and then elements, you do vipassana. At the same time, your mind get concentrated into it so that jhanic experiences come as a whole. So you not only do the training to break down the unwholesome state, but you of course make sure that you get that perfect balanced mind too. So it depends on individual. Sometimes if you have time and space, you may be doing a lot of training on samadhi and of course vipassana too. And then you take the chance to break into those status. We see that some monks like Venerable Sariputta, he took according to my understanding, he took the Vedananupassana for attainment to full enlightenment. Before that, we do not see any signs which meditation he took for his practice for attainment to extreme entry. He just got it into after listening to a couple of words from Venerable Asaji. If you take monks like Ratapala, we do not know what exactly he took, but any meditation subject he did help him to develop both aspects of the meditation. I see this from later period of the sasana. We divide these two vehicles more wide, but at the time of the Buddha did not separate samatha and vipassana as wide we did today.
Yeah, true.
Right? We do not see this from the discourses. Because both aspects are important. It is like, when you take the needle and you take the needle like this into this side, that side. In the meantime, you have to put the string through the hole of the needle. It is impossible.
I think it came from the Lady Sayadaw's the Vipassana, the birth of Vipassana, because he used like the small like a jhanic experience to get into Vipassana state, and all the Vipassana centers came like mushrooming. So there were Vipassana Samatha kind of get to two separate schools, but really there's no two separate schools. The second question I have is now when the fourth jhana, like say for example Daruchira and people who have practiced to a certain extent but never met the Buddha, but they probably reach the fourth jhana, but all need is the insight, ditte dittamatang. So in the fourth jhana, your like state is pretty much thoughts are not disturbing you at all. Like it's like the white cloth put on a person. That's the metaphor Buddha gives. Whatever that dirt sticks, you can see right away. So ditte dittamatang, when you hear, you only hear and just drop it off from there. And as you said, so the fourth jhana is, I think, the base platform for in typically most people. But in this sutra, it talks about the first jhana. But generally, fourth jhana is regarded as the where Dittamatang is possibly the application is easily done. By my understanding.
True. In the case of Daruchirya, I think the meditation he did in previous lives mattered there for him to speed up his training period very short. His training period seems very short in the last life because his effort to attain full enlightenment in previous life, according to the story, was so strong. I think just like Prince Siddhartha, you see, he was a few days old child, and but he was able to do Anapanasati into the level of attainment to the first jhana.
Hmm.
Why? How he did that? Because of the previous life's experiences. Just like that, Daruchiri also helped his previous experience. He didn't know that, but that experience, that maturity on the jhanic experiences came to him in an extraordinary way. That's why he was able to quickly get into the samadhi level in a split second, and did the vipassana into the highest to absorb the teaching of the Buddha with the 4 lines. I
Even
think that is
one monk too, like Malukaputta, I think
there are several
all monks, this similar idea, right?
Yeah. So that's I think the very important dosage of the Dharma was there for them to spring their mind into the right thinking there. That's
So
why, if there were no Buddha, it doesn't happen.
So mind was primed. All you need is a little bit of stimulation to get there, right? To see
That's
that.
right. That's right.
So
Yeah.
other thing, Bante, you said Chitta Ekakathatha is found in the first jhana. I thought it is found. Maybe you're just getting into that. In the second jhana, you have Chitta Ekakathatha because the Vitaka Vichara is lost. Mine is only one pointed, and in the first jhana, your Vitaka Vichara is still there. So Chitta Ekakathatha is not. One pointed is not clearly experienced.
That's right. That's why, one pointedness started from the first jhana, but it is not into the full form it with the Vitaka Vichara. At the same time, Vitaka Vichara is not out of the jhana. Vitaka Vichara there is about the framework of jhana. That is the important thing. I agree with that, because Ekaggata is fully developed in second jhana than in the first jhana. And when you come to the fourth jhana, it's perfect. Your mind doesn't go anywhere at all, because the danger of losing jhana is only with the first jhana. Right? When you are in the second jhana, you do not lose your second jhana. It goes to the first one, and then it is, even in a short period of time, it should get down to the first, and you should have Vitaka Vichara, because if you remember how one come down from the Sanyaveda Nirodha, there's a particular way to come down to the normal life. So there, when you come from fourth jhana to third and then second, so then the first you see those sankhara appears in your mind. So therefore, as you said, ekaggata in the first jhana is baby level.
Thank you.
Yeah, because of Vitaka Vichara, but when Vitaka Vichara is subsided, Ekaggata is going to be a matured one, a strong one, and that level of Ekaggata goes further strong when you are in the fourth jhana. That's why lot of attain to a full enlightenment keeping the fourth jhana as the basis. But here, as you rightly said, this is the first discourse we find in the entire Tripitaka that somebody can keep first jhana as the basis for enlightenment. But very important thing we should keep in mind that no matter which jhana you are in, you have to do full form of vipassana to break the layers of craving. Everyone has to do the training of anicca, dukkha, and anatta. In other words, panchakhanda, 5 aggregates of clinging, should be the target of everyone. And there you have to see the impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self on panchakhanda and panchupadanakhanda. Then only you become clear with the paticca You see a paticca is the mechanism that everything hang on to, and then you see the Four Noble Truth clearly. So there you destroy ourselves. So everyone has to do that.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, I think the other thing that came to my mind is that a lot of people start their meditation and with samatha and stays longer with that because their level of wisdom is weak, is not developed. When you are when you have weakness of panya faculty of wisdom, you have to stay longer in training samatha period, samatha training. So there you have the chance of developing faculty of wisdom, faculty of concentration, faculty of mindfulness, faculty of virya. And that's why a lot of people require to stay in samatha training a longer period. If you have developed your wisdom faculty very much, along with sati and virya and so forth, I don't think you don't stay longer there to practice samatha because you have already done that thing with the increase of wisdom. So that is what I think about it. Any other concern and questions?
She has a question.
Bhante,
Yeah.
I just want to ask a question about what you said. But then I think, as Buddha very correctly pointed in so many suttas, it is very important. It's like the hand, both sides of the hand. Samatha is so important because unless you go into the jhanas and go into the fourth jhana and arrives at that equanimity, however much you've been doing and we've seen vipassana, you wouldn't see it clearly as it is. Because when your mind is still and equanimous, that's the only state where you really can see these things happening.
Yeah.
So I think
exactly. What you said is true and accurate because you cannot go into subtle state of vipassana without the samatha training, without samadhi, because experience of samadhi teaches us that you have the full control of your mind with emotions. Because samadhi is giving us a kind of credibility that you can control your mind, emotions. Because if you have no training about your mind, particularly wandering, how could you focus one thing for longer period? Because when you look at the 5 aggregates, they are very subtle state of mind. So you need perfect balanced mind to see them for longer period in order to see the impermanence of it, right? So for example, if you want to see the decay and dying of a plant, you have to wait a longer period. For example, few months at least. You have to see the changes of the leaves from green to yellow, and then they fall down. You have to wait and see that this tree is impermanent, right? So how one stays a longer period and see the changes of something like that without samadhi, without the concentration of the mind. So, of course, without a doubt, everyone has that balance mind, mind that has calmness and joyful, because joy is not the joy we talk about in general sense. When we are joyful, we scream and we laughed and we jump. That is not the joy we talk about in the spirituality. When spiritual joy is always giving you confidence, spiritual joy is mixed with shraddha, confidence about the Buddha, confident about your training, so everything is connected. So these joyfulness, happiness, and what do you call passaddhi, tranquility, they are the pillars of your vipassana training. Because vipassana is difficult. You cannot do it just because you know it. You have to attain samadhi, all these, because when you go to Sattabojjhanga, piti, passaddhi, samadhi. Piti is a happiness of the mind. Passaddhi is both mental and physical relaxation. So these two, made the foundation, are the qualities of samadhi also. So without these, you are not motivated to do vipassana. In other words, so we should be able to be motivated by our own practice, right? Suppose we sit down for meditation, for example, and we do not get anything significant. Do you think that, so suppose you sit again in the next day, so you do this for a couple of months, you do not enjoy anything at all. Do you think that you are motivated to do meditation again? No. We would be able to feel joyful, relaxed, calm, and the physical body is like, very soft, very gentle, and our thoughts are very gentle. Then only you think that meditation is good. Okay, this would be the path for peace. Just like the Bodhisattva remembers the Buddha to be the Prince Siddhartha. After his self-mortification done, he thought that maybe the first judge, that path, that experience before, would be the path, because there you don't have the presence of sensual pleasures, no signs of ill will, no restlessness, no worry, no doubt. In the samadhi mind, you don't have anything of this. In piti, in passaddhi, you are perfect in peace and happiness. So that vipassana is being done without any problem. It's like you close the gate and doors and everything, and you are silently sitting inside the house, so you can do whatever you want. No one is watching you. Likewise, you have shut the windows of your body. You do not take pictures from your eyes, new pictures, no new sounds. Of course, they come and go. It happens, but you are not focusing them. So you close the window of the house, you close the gate, so that you can focus whatever you want to do inside the house. Likewise, with samadhi, we close all the avenues for enemies. And then we can dig down down to the roots of craving, and you see them, and you pull them out slowly, perfectly, firmly. And without samadhi, you cannot do that. So you said it very nicely. I think both samadhi and panya work as team, and they are just like two hands of a man, two legs of a man. It is required. It's just like the two railway. Without one, there is no way to take the train on it.
Yeah. And also, Bhante, when you do samatha, it is actually a practice, like it is a meditative practice. But then when you get up to the fourth jhana and you start your wisdom training, like the prajna part of it, vipassana, it is a contemplation. So you really actually come out of the meditative state, and then you contemplate and see things as they are.
Yeah, when you look at your own mind, suppose you are in first or second or third or any jhana, you look at your mind directly. Then that is called coming out of jhana. When you look at your jhanic experience, you think that you contemplate there. Okay, this is impermanent. Okay, in a before 1 second or 2 seconds, I was there, hanging in with. Now you are not there. You see it like, okay, this is what I was. Now it is impermanent. It is subject to change. It is built with causes and conditions, so that it is not the perfect mindset I should live in. That is called vipassana. You see the fallacy of, you see the weakness of your samadhi. Yes, as you said, yeah, that is what we call coming out of. When you look at your own mind, you are not there in a perfect way.
So you said someone's not enjoying. That means you don't want to keep doing it. So in other words, this is a subtle form of rupa raga, arupa raga. Those things are rupa jhana, arupa jhana. So but it's better than kama raga, obviously. But I think it's still a subtle form of attachment there.
Yeah. True.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bante.
All right, it's 9:30 almost. Remember this discourse, Attaka Nagara Sutta. It is delivered by Venerable Ananda. Why Venerable Ananda delivered it? Because Dasama, a man from Attakanagara, came to visit Venerable Ananda in Padliputra, today's Patna. After the Buddha's Parinirvana, this happened. The question asked was about is there a particular way, one way that a disciple can break all the unwholesome down and attain Nirvana? Venerable Ananda then explained one way, one avenue, and he explained all the 11 avenues in the sutta. And Dasama from Attakanagara became so happy about it because he came to know just one path, but he got almost 11. Many things are there for us to consider. Few things we discuss related to Sutta and related to Dhamma. You can explore other things as well. That is what the Sutta discussion is. And I am going to end today's discussion with sharing merits. May these merits out of the Sutta studies should be with each and everyone in the class, and also the family members, friends, and anyone you wish to share. And may these merits be devas, other living beings. May we all slowly but firmly go to the end of this cycle of suffering and experience full form of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.